Stanford Stadium. As we say hello and good evening, welcome. Alex Faust and Petros Papadakis here with you. Great matchup. Quarterback Tanner McKee for Stanford against this stout Washington defense that seems to always have their act together.
Love Tanner McKee, and he has come in and really taken over this team with his personality as the quarterback, taking over for Jack West early in the season. 6'6", coming off a Mormon mission. This guy has really started to make dividends for David Shaw's team, throwing the ball downfield. That pinpoint passing game of Stanford has become their identity. They're going to want to run it a little bit more in this one. But can he challenge the two Washington corners? No one's really been able to do it this year. Washington's defense, bit of a question mark this year as far as stopping the run, but no one can throw it anywhere near Trent McDuffie or Kyler Gordon. They are amazing. We'll see what that enables defensive coordinator Bob Gregory to do on the inside, because Stanford's going to try to run the ball tonight on the farm.
Well, Washington, a big comeback win last week against Arizona. The North still anyone's to win. Washington just a game and a half back. The 92nd all-time meeting between the Huskies and the Cardinal. Next on this Halloween Eve. Nice fall night in the Bay Area. 58 degrees at kickoff in Stanford, California. Washington won the toss and deferred to the second half. Jimmy Lake, head coach of the Washington Huskies, took over for our very own now, Chris Peterson. A tough road for Jimmy. A pandemic season last year, and this season navigating some injuries on both sides of the ball. And David Shaw, more than a decade at the helm at Stanford, a four-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year, 93 career wins. That is the most in program history.
It's hard to find or think of a better fit at any school in college football than David Shaw at Stanford. And he could go anywhere he wants every year, but this is where he is comfortable. This is where he's raised his family, and this is where he wants to stay, on the farm.
Chilly nights, or at least a fall night by Bay Area standards, regular fall night. And Stanford at 3-4 in the season, 2-3 in Pac-12 play, 2-2 for the Washington Huskies in conference play. Again, they're just a game and a half back of Oregon, now at 4-1. Oregon State, what a tough loss they took to Cal tonight.
Yeah, it just feels like you have the University of Oregon that Stanford beat on this field. And the rest of the conference right now, good football being played, tough football being played, but nobody really able to pull away from anybody down the stretch here in the Pac-12 conference, north or south.
It is still very much wide open. Peyton Henry to kick things off. Nathaniel Peets is back deep, the junior from Columbia, Missouri, who had a career high in rushing yards in the opener at the LA Coliseum. Does a great job returning kicks. And from 3 yards deep, will take the touchback. And here's Tanner McKee, the sophomore from Corona, California.
Well, we were talking about him. A lot of guys that go on LDS missions usually end up afterwards at BYU, Utah State, places like that. He's come to Stanford, quarterback position, and man, he has really taken off since they put him in. And he gets better and better every week as he gets more comfortable with this pro-style offense. And it's kind of a similar situation on the other side of the ball when we talk about Dylan Morris.
McKee, who passed for 2 touchdowns in Washington State in the loss last week, also rushed for a score. Nathaniel Peet lines up in the backfield. And the first play from scrimmage, a give to Peet up the middle, and he'll push the pile ahead for 6 yards on first down. We take a look at the Stanford offense and this somewhat experienced offensive line. Group that Stanford feels like, boy, they can get another year out of. They'd be really happy, and they feel they can get most of them back next season. You see Pete a lot. John Humphrey's still out hurt. Michael Wilson recovering from off-season foot surgery. 2nd down and 4 from the 31-yard line. McKee to pass, and it's caught by E.J. Smith, the son of Emmitt Smith, and it's a first down for Stanford.
They like to get E.J. involved. He's back after being banged up in this game, and he'll play receiver and running back. And there's those two big offensive, defensive tackles for Washington.
Take a look here at this Washington Huskies team. A lot of guys banged up. They're without Alex Cook. Scary incident last week. DB had to be carted off the field. Eddie Ulofoshio is out for the season as well, as they swing it to the outside, and Bryce Farrell scampers out after a gain of 7 on first down.
Nice start to the drive for Stanford. Start out with Pete and a nice forward-leaning run, and then get McKee warmed up with some short passing to Smith and now Farrell. Very manageable, right behind the sticks. 2nd and 3, that's where David Shaw and Tavita Pritchard, his offensive coordinator, like to call plays.
Since upsetting Oregon on October 2nd, Stanford has lost back-to-back. Second down and 3, McKee into the flat, and it is Smith who is unable to get there. It'll be a 3rd down and 2.
Smith kind of stopped his feet there, Alex. I thought he could have gotten behind his pads a little bit and run his legs and got that first down, but Carson Bruner comes over and makes the tackle along with Fatui there.
Zion Tukola Fatui recovering from an Achilles tear. Made his season debut last Friday against Arizona. He is a huge component to this Washington defense. Well, Wildcat here. Isaiah Sanders comes in. And Sanders forges ahead and has the first down, it appears.
Wildcat is very prominent throughout the Pac-12 North. We have Jack Coletto at Oregon State. You're going to see Sean McGrew at Washington running it. Sanders is the guy for Stanford. It just gives you an extra guy to get behind all that beef up front and all the tight ends that David Shaw loves to use and lean forward for a first down. Nice start at home for the Cardinals.
Just his 6th carry of the season. He has 2 rushing touchdowns. First down for Stanford into Washington territory. And McKee off play action. And he'll go to Austin Jones. Jones slips a tackle on the perimeter and scampers out inside the Washington 40.
They really have identified the 2 backs that they like to get the ball to the most in the passing and the running game. And that's Austin Jones and Nathaniel Pete. And early in this game, throwing the ball to the backs and letting them go and create, getting the ball out of McKee's hands quickly has been a key for Stanford as Washington's been chasing them around all over the field.
Pushed out by Carson Bruner in the end, but again, the Cardinal moving the sticks. Play clock dwindling inside of 2. And McKee will hand it off. They'll get 1 on first down. There's Austin Jones. Tackle made by Jacob Bandis, the redshirt freshman from Pittsburgh, California. North Bay. And he'll sub out.
Stanford kind of lulls you in the way that they do things. They can play fast. Now they're in a shotgun look, but they have every formation. Very complex offense. They huddle up, really take their time.
It's Jones in the backfield again. McKee off the play fake. Scrambling. McKee brought down. Tried to step up in the pocket, but Voy Tunafui brought him down.
McKee just stays a little bit too long at the carnival. Really nice rush from ZTF that caused McKee to push up and ultimately got the sack. There's Bob Gregory, the defensive coordinator for the University of Washington. Jimmy Lake, of course, had that role when Chris Peterson, our colleague, was the head coach. Still very much involved with the defensive side of the ball.
McKee on 3rd and 7 delivers a dart on time to Jay Simons, the senior. Beg your pardon, Benjamin Urasek, the sophomore, who makes the grab. It's a first down for Stanford.
Urasek's been the guy Bradley Archer is out in this game. They have a lot of guys missing on both teams in key spots. And that's kind of part of college football and making a run. The guys that have stepped in, and Jurasek has stepped in beautifully. That was his 21st reception of the season.
Led Stanford in receiving a couple of weeks ago, their last time out at Washington State. First down for the Cardinal. From the 24, Austin Jones searching for the edge. And that's a nice pickup on first down before being shoved out of bounds.
I like this style of running by Jones. He's only about 190 pounds, but look at him behind Hamuli. He just makes that cut and pushes that edge, trusts his offensive line and the momentum. It's a really nice gain on first down, and that's exactly where the Cardinal want to be as Washington defensively on their heels again.
Second down and 4 at the Washington 18. On the ground, Austin Jones gets stood up, and it's Bruner again with the tackle, setting up third down.
Carson Bruner, the son of Mark Bruner, just a freshman out of Woodinville, Washington. Of course, Bruner, the great tight end. And the linebacker play has been an issue for Washington. They have some big guys up front. We talked about the great corners. They're very thin at safety tonight. Stanford's throwing it all at them in this first drive.
Third down and 3. McKee to throw. And it is broken up. Kyler Gordon, you talked about him at the top of the show. He had a fantastic game against Cal earlier this season. He has a couple INTs. Comes up with a breakup here.
What a one-on-one matchup there, right? Elijah Higgins and Kyler Gordon. And Tanner McKee gives Higgins a great chance, but Gordon just too aware, active hands, had his eyes up, really well played. I thought Tanner McKee could have checked that one down.
This will be a 35-yard field goal attempt for Joshua Carty, the sophomore. One of the top kicking prospects in the country, heading to the Cardinal. And he bangs it through. Stanford on the board first. We'll see the Huskies offense next. Tomorrow night, Game 5 of the World Series. Altuve and the Astros, Freeman and the Braves. Coverage gets underway 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. 3-0 Stanford. Opening drive successful for the Cardinal to get on the board.
They really kept themselves in very manageable downs throughout the whole drive, and it was a 3rd and 3 they couldn't convert because they challenged one of those corners that we talked about in our open. Kyler Gordon made a heck of a play.
This will be a touchback, and the Huskies will get things going, looking for their first road win at Stanford since 2007. Dylan Morris, the redshirt freshman, who enters today top 5 in pass yards in the Pac-12.
It's that, though. It's the long chances and the 8 picks that also leads the conference that has really set the Huskies back this year, Alex. And it's put the defense, which is supposed to be the backbone of this team, in a rough position. So we'll see if they can get the run game going, some play action and some movement plays going for Morris, so he's not just back there 7 steps throwing it deep so much.
Morris under center, and McGrew in the backfield. They'll give it to the senior running back, and McGrew, that's a nice run off the hop, picking up 6 to the Washington 31, tackled by Gabe Reed, the 50-year senior. As we take a look at the Washington offense.
Well, this offensive line, they've messed with it a little bit. Jackson Kirkland is back in this game, the left tackle, and they need him. But primarily, they're a run-blocking group. They haven't been great at pass protection. Kamari Pleasant's a really physical back, and Bynum is the best receiver.
Second down and 4. Off the play fake, Morris rolls to his right and gets rid of it under heavy pressure. Reed bearing down on him. Take a a look at the Stanford defense here. It's a team that ranks next to last in points allowed, last in total defense. They have not been able to stop the run this year. That was one of the offseason priorities for David Shaw, but it's come a bit of a struggle for this team.
And both these units, the Stanford defense and the Washington offense, probably the most question marks maybe in the Pac-12 North.
3rd down and 4. And Morris steps up, throws near side, elevating to make the catch is Bynum, but it's knocked out. Bynum the target, Kendall Williamson in coverage, 4th down.
Similar situation to the 3rd and short that Stanford had, closer to the red zone. Morris really fires it in there, and a great opportunity for Bynum with both hands on the ball, but just staying after it was Williamson getting the ball out, and Stanford off to a great start. Nice drive, eating a lot of clock, and then forcing a 3 and out. That's not the way the Dogs want to start on the farm.
Race Porter to boot this away. Bryce Farrell waiting at the 25, and Farrell wrapped up right away. Short return, special teams tackle from Dominique Hampton. Stanford with the early lead. Tanner McKee and the Cardinal back to work when we come back. All right, opening drive for Stanford. 13 plays, 58 yards, but that 7:04 off the clock, they churned their way upfield for the opening score. And Tanner McKee and the Cardinal back to work from their own 33. McKee 5 of 6 to begin the night. On the ground, it's Nathaniel Peets. Yeah, he had nice blocking on 1st down. Jackson Sermon with the tackle here. But again, it's a nice start for this Cardinal team.
I like how he didn't wait around for things to develop and stop his feet. He knew where he wanted to go. He made that quick cut out to the right and finished the run physically. We've seen a lot of good runs from Austin Jones and Pete thus far just to start this game.
It was a frustrating outing last time out against Washington State. 10 carries for just 27 yards for Pete. The guy, Jay Simons, blocking fullback for Nathaniel Peets, who will get a couple, but he's tackled by Voit Tunaufi, and again for this Washington defense, we're able to slow things down. 3rd down.
That's the second pretty good physical tackle from Tunaufi. Guy out of Utah.
Freshman. 6'1", 275.
Still have a lot of youth up front, but a lot of guys who have been talked about for a long time as great prospects.
3rd down. McKee looking to throw, pocket collapsing, and he can't get away. There he is again. Tunaufi with the sack, and a 3 and out.
McKee again, really just a 4-man rush, and he just doesn't hang in there. I think if he hung in there and got rid of it, he would have been okay, but didn't see anything downfield he liked, took his eyes down, and Tunaufi with another big tackle. I'm not sure how much Washington's defense could have handled another long Stanford drive. That's a big stop.
Second sack for the freshman tonight to end the drive. This is a short punt. It'll bounce at the 37 and be downed by the Cardinal to set up good field position for the Huskies, who went 3 and out on their first drive. I don't know if Dubs made the trip or not, but nonetheless, the Huskies offense goes back to work. All right, nightmare fuel or the most nightmare fuel in the Pac-12?
Oh, come on. The tree's the best, and you know the person that is the tree has to build the tree, Alex.
I did not know that.
You know, you don't
This is
have
why I work with you, because I learn something new every week.
You don't have to build Oski the bear and Cal, but you got to build the tree. That's why some years it's a Dutch elm or a palm tree. That tree's mean. You can see his eyebrows. See the marks there.
Washington ball here at their own 37. High snap from Morris. Swing pass caught along the perimeter, and it's Jalen McMillan who brings it in and is tackled after a gain of 4 or 5 yards.
And that's a step to trying to get them a little bit more efficient offensively. Get something manageable on first down. That's basically a run play. Get it out to McMillan behind some blockers and let him plow forward. And now John Donovan's got something to work with 2nd and 6.
McMillan early in the season had a breakout performance against Arkansas State. And using him more and more. Keep it on the ground here to McGrew. As he is able to get close to the mark.
McGrew's been in college a long time.
And they'll call it a first down. Sorry, Petrus.
Yeah, he was Josh Rosen's running back, Alex. I mean, this guy played at St. John Bosco with Josh.
Say that again?
He was Josh Rosen's running back. They played together. They were the 1-2 punch at St. John Bosco in Southern California. And he was a 100-meter champion. I mean, a huge recruit for Washington. And he's really found a niche this year, running the Wildcat and picking his way like that inside.
Morris under center on first down. McGrew again, and he'll get a couple on first down. He didn't play the first couple games of the season, and then scored 6 touchdowns his first 3 weeks back into the lineup, including the game-winning TD in overtime against Cal in week 4.
You know, he's not a big guy. He's only about 5'7", maybe. So he's hard to see behind that line of scrimmage, and he's got really quick acceleration. And watching him run between the tackles as this mature of a player reminds me of Jacquizz Rodgers when he was at Oregon State.
Find him in motion, top of your picture. They'll go to him. Perhaps a trick play. Thought about passing it. He'll scamper for the first down instead. Boy, Bynum was loading up, ready to heave it downfield. Made the decision to keep it and get the first.
It looked like he wanted Cade Otton, the excellent Washington tight end, coming from the opposite side of the field, but Cade Otton stopped coming because he was covered. And Bynum wisely makes a decision to tuck it and convert the first down.
Second in the Pac-12 in receiving yards per game coming into the day, trailing only USC's Drake London. First down for the Huskies at the Stanford 41. On the ground, it's Davis. Gaping hole. There goes Cameron Davis. Big chunk play pushed out by Noah Williams in the first big play of the night for the Washington offense.
Well, they're just going to run a gap play. They're going to pull people from here, the beautiful I formation, and this thing is going to open up in regular formation, just a straight-up, old-school running play. And I know that Washington fans love to see that and love to see Davis rumbling down the field. That is what's been missing from this football team this year. 26
yards to the Stanford 19, and the Huskies who have scored on every drive that's made it to the red zone this year. Davis again, and he'll push the pile down to the 15-yard line. They're only one of 3 teams in FBS that has a red zone score every single time they've had the ball in the red zone. The problem is they only get there about 2.5 times per game.
Just not consistent offensively. I love that Stanford.
They're into it.
Very distracting.
Morris, quick throw. Rome Odunze, and he's down at the 9-yard line, right at the marker. Jaden Slocum on the tackle.
And they like the cushion they're getting, so they're throwing some of these hitch routes where the receiver just turns and catches and goes forward to get some yards.
Well, the spot pushed them back to the 10. I thought he had it. So it's going to be 3rd down and 1 here. Break the huddle with Davis in the backfield. And Javon forward at fullback. Direct snap. Davis gets it. First and goal for the Huskies.
Miazon had a great shot at taking Davis down, but too strong in the upper body. He was able to withstand the contact and then kind of lurch forward and make it happen. And you can see Washington trying to impose an identity here, getting in regular formation with the one tight end and two receivers and the I backs here.
Final play of the quarter. And this time it's the fullback forward who gets to the 5. It'll be second down and goal with the Huskies driving. When we return, 15 minutes in the books. Tonight's Progressive Game Flow. Chilly night in the South Bay. Stanford and Washington, who've combined for 7 of the last 10 division titles in the Pac-12 North. We'll start the second when we come back. Team comparison sponsored by Credible.com, and the Huskies have been able to move the ball on the ground this drive.
They've had good rushing attempts throughout the beginning of this game, averaging about 7 yards a carry through the first quarter, which is not characteristic of the Dogs. They'd like to keep that up.
Cameron Davis in the backfield. Morris under center. Second and goal from the 5. It is Davis, and he won't get to the edge. It is Ricky Miezon, the senior, second on the Cardinal in tackles, who made the stop, and it's a tackle for loss.
His 5th tackle for loss of the season. Miezon just pushes the edge, and Davis tries to jump outside and get some momentum behind his legs, but slips a little bit on that moist grass. And a third goal where Washington's really trying to get a physical push. Now they're going to have to spread it out and maybe throw this one.
10th play of the drive.
Look out for Otten.
Morris stands in the pocket, surveys the scene, drifts to the perimeter, and throws it to the back of the end zone, incomplete. 4th down.
He wanted Otten, and Otten did hook up right over the line of scrimmage, about 5 yards deep, what we call a Hank route. And Morris didn't like it, so kind of drifted off to the edge and threw it away. Nice drive after a stop from Washington. Kind of getting their bearings back in this one.
Here's Henry to tie the game. Preseason All Pac-12 honorable mention, and he bangs it through. The Washington Huskies are on the board at the Farm.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Michigan State's Kenneth Walker III made his claim for the Heisman. Oregon bolsters his resume ahead of next week's playoff rankings. And can anyone score on top-ranked Georgia's defense? It's tough to beat. But so are you, Alex and Petros. We'll see you at the half, guys.
All right, Mike. Boy, is Georgia something else this year. And they don't even have their starting quarterback.
No, in fact, Stetson Bennett might have played his way into being the starting quarterback because of his ability to run the ball and plays better to that defense. It's wild.
Pete will let this bounce out of the back of the end zone. And the Cardinal going back to work here. Well, so I have a stat here, P.
Yes.
In wins, Stanford averages 38 points. In losses, 18 points. It's early in this game, but it feels like a low-scoring one, which doesn't usually bear fruit for the Cardinal.
It does. You know, it's interesting. Both these teams are trying to make a push for the Pac-12 North through October into November. David Shaw's very much used to doing that with this Stanford team, as growth is a big part of what they do. But at the same time, you can tell that they're all rimmed. Again, high formation, you see Stanford lining up. They're really trying to balance things out and be more run-oriented, and that might be why we have the score we have.
Whistle before they can snap the ball here.
False start. Yep. 88 offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's the senior tight end, Tucker Fisk.
He is their traditional cement mixer-like tight end with a tackle's body. He lines up and just gets after people. I love these road grading tight ends. But, you know, when you move guys around and shift and have a very complex offense, sometimes you're susceptible to that. And 1st and 15 is really tough when you're trying to run the ball.
First penalty of the game. Off play action over the middle. It's Jurasik. Big play to start the drive up to the Stanford 44. Tackled by Carson Bruner.
Great play call by Tavita Pritchard. They lull you to sleep with the run fake, and then just a quick pop pass over the middle to Jurasek. And he's running free down the field for a big game for Stanford. Let's see, now that they've settled in and got that first down, what type of offense they're going to run. Now Tanner's going to spread them way out.
Now 23 yards on the catch and run for the sophomore tight end from Bakersfield. Empty backfield for McKee. And he'll throw off the hands of E.J. Smith. That could have been danger. Trent McDuffie, he can fly. Almost had a play on the ball.
He might have taken it to the house if he could have kept his feet under him. E.J. Smith is the guy they like to throw the ball to. Let's see if this one was right on point for him and popping the ball up like that. But there's guys like McDuffie running around.
Second down. Their own 43, McKee. Again, it's Jurasek. Couple of big plays for the tight end on this drive, and the Cardinal are in business.
You can throw the ball down the field and not even end up challenging these corners, McDuffie and Gordon, because you have these big, beautiful tight ends. Jurasek with the second big catch on this drive. Like you said, Buki Radley-Hiles with a good physical tackle on him, but not before Stanford really starts marching.
Catches of 23 and 24 for Jurasek on this drive. And last time out, he was their leading receiver. McKee pumps, throws near side. It is caught along the sideline. Elijah Higgins. Now this Stanford team with some pinpoint passing.
Yeah, there's
a
lot in this play, Alex. I mean, first he's got the fake to Austin Jones, and then he fakes the swing pass, pulls it back, pulls it way back with the pump fake, and gets it to Elijah Higgins, who's been his go-to receiver, and they haven't had a lot of success throwing to the receivers. That's a big play for Stanford.
14 yards to the Washington 20. McKee on first down. Swings it to Jurasek yet again, his third catch this series. He's down to the Washington 15, tackled by Jackson Sermon, the sophomore from Brentwood, Tennessee.
David Shaw was telling us about Jurasek. He's got a chance to be elite. We know about all the great Stanford tight ends year in and year out. So many of those type of position guys want to come here and be developed. And they said he's gaining more confidence, I would say, on this drive. He's got a lot of confidence.
No doubt. We're saying to us maybe another year in the weight room and he'd be among the best in this league. McKee, incomplete. Silas Starr, the intended target. He and Trent McDuffie were locked up along the sideline.
And McDuffie is my favorite player in this game, and Starr and McKee were trying to communicate there, and you got to throw it at him at some. I mean, you have to challenge these guys a little bit, but you just don't want to do it in a situation where they can hurt you and pick you off. That wasn't going to happen on that play, but Trent gets lonely out there when people don't throw at him.
Third down and 5 here. And the Huskies come up with a stop after Stanford gashed them a couple times on this drive. McKee slings it sidearm, intercepted. Jackson Sermon with the pick. And a costly mistake for Stanford in the red zone after what was a terrific drive comes to an end with the interception for Sermon, his first.
The Cardinal was flirting with that a little bit, weren't they? Throwing it short, and the ball pops up this time to Higgins, and Sermon doesn't miss it. Dogs are back with the ball.
Well, Jackson Sermon with the pick, leading tackler for Washington this season, capitalizes on the mistake from Tanner McKee, and it's Huskies ball.
They need some confidence in that linebacker position. Peter Sermon's son, the great Jackson Sermon, with a big play.
This is Solid play on first down for the Huskies. Odunze finally brought down after a gain of 7. It's the 12th takeaway for Washington this year, and their turnover margin on the season back to even.
And that's how things should be. If you have two dominant corners and they're playing man and you don't have to help them, you should be able to really mess up the picture for the quarterback on the inside. And McKee definitely would want that throwback.
Morris under center. McGrew in the backfield. Cade Otten, the tight end, motioning to the left side. They'll give it to McGrew. And he lowers the shoulder to pick up a couple of extra yards. And a first down. Noah Williams with the stop.
Physical, pulling around from the right guard. Just unleashing from Benevalu onto that Stanford left side. Good physical start to the drive for a Washington team that really does look like they're trying to come into this game and run the ball a lot more. Two tight ends in this.
On first down. They'll keep it on the ground. It's McGrew again, and he got some great blocking. All the way down to the Stanford 34. Noah Williams eventually with the stop.
Hit him inside, and then they hit him outside with the zone look. Great block from Cade Otten out on the edge. And McGrew doesn't waste a lot of motion. He's a lot like Austin Eckler, who plays for the Los Angeles Chargers. Good ball security, keeps it tight. Tackling a bowling ball.
Somehow Cameron Davis comes back in after the 20-yard run from McGrew. Morris gives to Davis. He spun away from an initial tackle. Finally getting ridden out of bounds by Kendall Williamson. But he moves the sticks yet again, and this Washington team is back to their bread and butter.
Look at Ale, number 66, pull around and just punish people on the edge. That's going to take a lot out of this Stanford defense, and Cameron Davis finishes the play well. Good-looking drive so far by the Dogs.
So it's a big question of identity, right? Both these teams with quarterbacks that can throw, for sure. And you mentioned the 8 interceptions from Morris that were problematic, but they have kept things simple here today. Swung to the outside. Odunze gets 3 or 4 on first down.
They've had success running the ball, and they've had success throwing those hitch routes out to the edges to Odunze, McMillan. Dylan Morris does have a live arm and can get that ball downfield, especially to Bynum, but that has also been a little bit of fool's gold for Jimmy Lake's team down the stretch as well in games.
Second down and 5 at the Stanford 18. Davis got by the initial wave and is wrestled down at the 15. Third down.
Yeah, that is Dylan Wade Perry, I believe, that just comes right in. No one blocks him. It just gets right to the mesh. A really well done piece of work by Davis just to get out and get back to the line of scrimmage. I think Perry was a little surprised no one blocked him.
Ronnie DeMooney eventually made the tackle. Third down and 2. On the 15, Morris, shovel pass, and Davis slipped. Tackled by Jordan Fox, the 6th-year senior. Davis lost his footing in the backfield, and the Cardinal defense comes up big again.
Well, the coordinator, John Donovan, had been doing it with force, and this time tries to catch Stanford off guard, and Stanford stays home. Jordan Fox makes a nice play on what was a speed option call by John Donovan, the OC for Washington.
So it's Peyton Henry again. This time with a 37-yard try from the left hash, and it's up and good. Washington with a pair of field goals, leading 6-3. Tomorrow, a big doubleheader on Fox. First, the 49ers battle the Bears or other regional action. And then America's Game of the Week, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers against Alvin Kamara and the Saints. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check your local listings for the games in your area. Some NFL players coached by Jimmy Lake. Boy, they've done a good job through the years on the defensive side of the ball especially.
It's been who they are, and it's really been who Washington football's been for decades. That's the personality and the toughness of the program under Don James.
Pete rubs off the hit and is tackled at the 26. A return of 27 for the junior. And now Tanner McKee goes back to work. It was fascinating watching that Stanford drive, right? Passing on time and then one mistake. That's it.
Yeah, between the 20s, both teams have had a lot of success.
Yeah.
And they're dialing up some things that work in the passing game and the running game. Things get to the red zone, and they tighten up in this game. It'll be interesting to see what David Shaw wants Tanner McKee to do as far as throwing the ball down the field and challenging these excellent Washington corners.
Prior to tonight, the only interceptions he threw in the season were in one game against Arizona State. And this is E.J. Smith on first down. McKee had gone 7 straight games and 161 consecutive pass attempts to begin his career without an INT. And now has 4 to his ledger on the season.
That last one was a rough one. It was either a miscommunication with Higgins, who just wasn't in the spot that he was in, or he just didn't see the defenders and got rid of it nonchalantly. But those are the kind of mistakes they're trying to avoid.
They'll pull it back here. And McKee going through his progressions, connects for the first down. That's his favorite target. Jurasic again. Is it Jurasic? Hanley. Beg your pardon. 34, fullback, who gets the catch.
Fullbacks and tight ends.
Yeah.
That's all they've had going so far in this game. Really hard to get the ball out to the edges, especially without John Humphreys there. Great young performing receiver who's banged up in this game. The guy that came through against Oregon. They wanted to go deep that time, but McKee, after the play fake, did a good job getting it to Himuli.
Jet sweep, and it goes nowhere. Blown up by Cooper McDonald.
Cooper McDonald, the edge player, just comes right off the edge, unblocked. He is the first force player, needs to be blocked by somebody coming across there, but just mistimed by Stanford as far as somebody being there.
Loss of 7 on the play, 4th tackle for loss this season for McDonald. It's a 2nd down and 17.
Hard to make that up, throwing it to the tight ends and fullback.
Well, McKee will get some of it back, not much though. E.J. Smith and a terrific tackle from, I believe that's Michelle Powell, a redshirt freshman who got him. Yeah, it was. Third down. And a long one.
Now this is where things could be dangerous for Tanner McKee. He's frustrated. He already threw an interception. His 3rd long situation. Can't make a mistake here.
McKee with time. And he'll keep it short. And sliding down at the 46. A little awkward slide there for Lucas Unger. Didn't get very much on the play underneath, and it's a 4th down.
You could tell that McKee wants to unleash that thing. This guy's 6'6". He's got every throw in the bag. He's got all the different arm slots, but it is just not coming open down the field. It's mostly underneath for Stanford. Washington doing well, rallying to make tackles when he does get rid of it. Nice play on D by the Dogs on the road here.
Ryan Sanborn, the junior, his 3rd season as the Cardinal punter. Play clock winding all the way down. They get it off. And it is a booming kick all the way back to the Washington 5. Giles Jackson making the fair catch there. It'll be a long field for the Huskies to work with, up 6-3. And see, this is the magic of TV. It's time for tonight's celebration moment, sponsored by Allstate. Who's going to be celebrating tonight? Well, the Stanford band, let's just say they put in an A+ effort for Halloween.
Their celebration has never stopped since the 40s. Groot was good. That's really explaining things.
Scooby and the gang's here. Oh, I should know that. That's the Meeseeks dude. Yeah, I should know that. That's some shows in my age bracket, I think. Stanford trailing 6-3. And Washington starts in their own 5. This will be a 2-yard pickup on first down for the Huskies. Well, again, you know, we've seen this team sort of reestablish their identity. Run game, right?
Their first of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Stanford burns a timeout here. It gives me a chance to actually ask you a question with some words to it. What do you think of this Washington team so far?
I mean, I think both teams have come into this game trying to be more conservative, trying to have more of an offensive toughness to them, and with the run game. And that's made it a conservative game. Kind of the way it's played out from there, it's become a field goal, tight end, fullback type of game, which you'd imagine that's where Washington's comfortable playing, but it's not really who they've been this year. When they took the field, the team on paper going into the season looked like, you know, big old tight end, running backs, an offensive line that knows how to run block. But the way it translated out onto the field after that loss to Montana that really shook this team has not been the same. But it seems like they're kind of trying to reestablish, like you said, Alex, some identity here going forward in November.
Get back above 500 in conference play with a win today. This is Odunze, spun out of bounds at the 18 by Nicholas Toomer. This Washington team, too, we were talking with Jimmy Lake about this. They're still relatively young. I'm looking at their game notes. They had a stat 108 out of the 125 players on the UW roster are still listed, though there are some clarifications, I guess, in terms of exact class status, listed as underclassmen. So they have a lot of mileage left in the tank.
Well, they're building for the future. And Dylan Morris, you know, he's a third-year quarterback, but last year was such a wash. You know, you might want to say he's kind of more of a sophomore in years-wise, even though they have him listed as a redshirt freshman. He's been in the program 3 years.
The clock ran all the way down. They got it off. And McGrew powers up the middle here on first down.
Some of the other scuttlebutt up in the Northwest is that Sam Hewer, the backup quarterback who played a little bit last week against Arizona, you know, people are waiting for his opportunity, but he's also a ways away from learning a pro-style offense.
Bit of a hole there for McGrew to pick up a couple extra yards on second down. And he'll move the sticks for the Huskies. There is Sam, Damon Heward's son, Washington great.
Playing high school football 6 months ago. You know, they had the adjusted season in the spring, and he came from kind of an air raid, shotgun style offense, and getting up under center and working those muscles and seeing the field as you're dropping back is something they're teaching him.
Final minute and a half of the first half. Otten upended, ball came out. It's a live ball, scooped up by the Cardinal. What's the ruling here? Jimmy Wyrick picked it up, and we have a large conference to figure out what the ruling here will be. Mark Duddy is our referee, and this could be a huge turn of events in this first half.
It looked like the helmet was just perfectly placed right on the ball there with Otten. Like the idea of getting the tight end involved and letting him run down the field and be physical like we've seen with Urasek on the other side. Not sure what Jimmy Lake is arguing with the officials. We haven't seen a ruling yet.
Minute 20 to go in the first half. And what could be the first turnover of the game for the Huskies? Cade Otton with what appeared to be.
The ruling on the field, it is a completed pass, a fumble, recovery by Stanford, and then the ball was fumbled out of bounds. The ball will be returned to the spot of the fumble by Stanford. First down.
That's a great explanation from Mark Duddy. Stanford ball.
See what happens out here. Morris gets it out to the tight end. Otton's got some space. And is that Caillou Blue Kelly that made that hit and knocked the ball loose, I think? The great tackling corner. Stanford figures it out with the ball back.
While we were away, they've announced this play is under review, and it could be a big one in the context of this game. Dean Blandino's with us. Walk us through here, Dean, what you're seeing here.
Yeah, you have two plays. You have the initial fumble, two aspects. The initial fumble, which it is a fumble, but it's the recovery by Wyrick at the sideline. This is the key. It's just like a catch. Does he have control? Does he have a body part? And does he have time to perform an act common to the game? To me, he clearly doesn't complete that recovery process. He may get control, but that ball is out almost immediately. There's no time element. To me, this is not a recovery. And really what you have is a fumble forward out of bounds and the ball going back to Washington.
Yeah, very well explained, of course, from Dean and obviously and the officials on the farm. And a great job of being able to get out there and get the officials' attention by Jimmy Lake and try to get this thing reviewed, as he's still very demonstrative on the sideline. But it never looked like Wyrick. He kind of tried to flip it up to himself, and it got knocked away in the process.
Dean, we appreciate you. Keep another pot of coffee going. Here's another look.
Otton does a really fabulous job of getting back up and getting a hand on that ball and preventing the clean recovery. Staying after the play even after he made a critical error.
So the situation is either Washington ball or Stanford with a short field here, minute 20 and 2 timeouts. That may explain why Jimmy Lake was so fervently trying to plead his case before this went to review.
Well, it's a big sudden change. There's no doubt about it. You give the ball to Stanford and they have a short field. They could at least have a shot to tie this game up. I think they're going to have to reverse this. I don't see a world where Wyrick seemed to have possession at all, and we have a pretty clear shot of it.
He's still trying to get his side of things heard.
I mean, the Stanford defense just got up to get back out onto the field, so.
Should be a pretty clear indication of where this is going. Might be looking at a spot, perhaps.
Because you can't fumble it forward.
Right. And then you have the clock, which are seminars the Dean and company always explain. That's the hardest part.
After review, the Washington receiver caught the ball and fumbled the ball. The Stanford player did not recover the ball. This is a forward fumble out of bounds. The ball is returned to 10. It'll be second down at the 35-yard line. Game timer, please read the game clock to 1:21. 1:21. Thank you.
It's about as well as you can do it.
Yep.
Officiating-wise, sorting it out and making sure the right call was made. Well done by everybody, but especially Dean Blandino.
Would you expect anything less?
Never.
So, with the call reversed, Washington ball, a minute 21 to go. And they'll start the clock here.
Let's see how much they let Dylan Morris open it up and try to throw the ball down the field, maybe take a shot here.
As Bynum is an option near side, he'll go to McGrew instead. Bynum gets the block, and McGrew spun down just shy of the 40-yard line. It'll bring up third down. Tristan Sinclair on the stop for Stanford. Under a minute to play in the half. Huskies still with all 3 timeouts. And we have a timeout taken. It is by Stanford. It's a 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Huskies out of this timeout. A reminder, State Farm halftime coming up. Mike Hill, Manuel Acho, Chris Peterson. A busy day around college football, headlined by the battle for the mitten. I was told before reading that promo I was not allowed to bring it up because our producer is a Michigan fan. So
yeah, it's been
sorry,
a rough day for him.
Yeah. My mic's going to be cut off for the second half of our show.
You just don't expect to have that much offense and then lose the game.
Wait, yeah, exactly. So here's a 3rd and 1 for the Huskies at their own 40. And Stanford may yet get the ball back here to finish the half, if they can come up with the stop. Morris in the gun. He'll give it to Davis, and he has the first down. So now Washington, with all 3 timeouts, clock stops to reset the change. 46 seconds left in the half.
So they've kind of set the stage for the second half and what kind of game at least we've seen to this point, which is kind of a slow-moving haymaker type of game with the run game.
They're first of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
But it looks like Cameron Davis has been established and will continue to run the ball. He's done a good job, as has McGrew. For Washington, Davis has slipped twice in the red zone. We might have a different score if he hadn't. But who's going to get out of this conservative structure first in this game? And will they have to win is a great question for the second half.
Washington, remember, will have the ball to begin the second after deferring on the coin toss. 46 seconds. First down to the UW 44. Morris drops back and delivers a dart to Cade Otten on the plus side of midfield.
I like
continues to move after a 9-yard gain. Sorry, Pete.
No, I like the idea of them getting him the ball and feeling it after that fumble. They're going to need him in the second half the way this is shaping up.
Morris slings one to the outside. A catch for Jalen McMillan. And he's down to the 31. Clock stops momentarily, 24 seconds. First down for the Huskies. Morris searching. Throws to the outside. It is Davis who gets out and stops the clock with 13 seconds.
This drive was going slow, and then all of a sudden it started flying downhill. Morris with that nice slant throw to McMillan that got things going after the throw to Ott. With 2 timeouts, let's see how they manage this. Not a lot of time left.
Pick up of 4. It'll be a second down and 6. Three receivers to the quarterback's left. Morris's throw batted at the line. Incomplete. 9 seconds left in the half. Gabe Reed got his hand on it.
6'2" guy is Gabe Reed. Came hard on the rush and got his hands up. Dylan Morris only 6 feet tall.
Beg your pardon, that's Tucker Fisk.
Yeah. And he's only got one hand. Tucker Fisk, the tight end, coming on the rush. He's got the The cue ball, on the other hand.
Fisk plays both sides of the ball regularly. Davis, meanwhile, has the first down and more. He is able to go down with the timeout called 2 seconds on the clock. Well, if he kept running, that might have run out the half.
Yeah, there was going to be heavy criticism had that not worked out that well for Washington. The timing of that situation. Jimmy Lake dodged a very big bullet there as far as clock management goes to get this attempt off from Henry.
So the only 2 scores for the Huskies, Peyton Henry from 24 and 37. This from 32. To put the Huskies up by 6. Got it. Kickers are invaluable, Pete.
Kickers, tight ends, and fullbacks.
That's right.
And linebackers and D linemen.
So you're saying most of the team.
Except for the wide receivers.
Exactly. 9-3 Huskies. State Farm halftime coming up.
Welcome to the State Farm Halftime Show.
All right, welcome inside our FS1 studios in Los Angeles alongside Chris Peterson and Emmanuel Acho. I'm Mike Hill. We'll get you back out for the second half between Washington and Stanford very shortly. But first, let's get you caught up on action from around the country with our halftime highlights sponsored by State Farm, starting with #1 Georgia and Florida. World's largest cocktail party, and it was a one-team party today. James Cook.
Usually is when you play Georgia.
Yeah. How do you beat this team, Emmanuel?
A lot of prayer, maybe fasting, depending on how you grew up. No, I mean, Georgia's playing great on offense, playing great on defense. If you do want to beat them, you have to find a way to make a couple big special teams plays. Florida,
I want to call on the Lord. Anthony Richardson getting picked off by Nakobe Dean. That defense had just as many touchdowns as the Florida offense. Bulldogs win again, 34-7. They're 8-0 on the season. #10, Ole Miss at #18, Auburn. It's Bo Nix. 20 seconds play and a half to Jarquez Hunter. 9-yard touchdown pass. Lane ain't happy about that. Matt Corral on the run, picked off by Jalen Simpson. Can you see Kiffin one more time? Yeah. What are you? Auburn wins it 31-20. #2, Cincinnati. Tulane. Style points very important for this team.
No doubt about it. Cincinnati has to not only win, they have to find a way to win convincingly every game from here on out.
Desmond Ritter doing his part to Josh Weil, and then Ritter to Jerome Ford, 26-yard score. Cincinnati was close for a while, but they pull away and win by 19, 31-12. Game of the day, #6, Michigan. #8, Michigan State. Saw this one on Fox. Cave McNamara, Mike Sarenstill. 19-yard score. Wolverines up 30-14. They led by 16 points, but back comes Michigan State. Back comes Kenneth Walker III, Coach.
The best back in the country. Makes it look easy. He can do it through the middle, outside, bouncing it, running you over. He can do it all ways.
Forget about just best back in the country. He might be the best player in the country now. And then Michigan mistakes. J.J. McCarthy fumbles, recovered by Michigan State, and then give it to arguably the best player in the country.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker III.
Kenneth Walker, I don't know if he's the best player, but he definitely right now is the Heisman favorite. Huge game. 5 touchdowns against the Michigan defense. Came in #2 in the nation.
5 touchdowns, as you mentioned, 197 rushing yards, and then this sealed the deal as McNamara gets picked off by Charles Brantley. Michigan State wins it 37-33. They are 8-0 on the season. Michigan, their first loss to go to 7-1. More from Kenneth Walker, looking at 23 carries, 197 yards, 8.6 yards per carry. Once again, 5 rushing TDs. How many did Michigan allow coming in?
Coming into the game, 3 rushing touchdowns in 7 games.
Incredible. Michigan, good defense. Kenneth Walker better today. #9, Iowa at Wisconsin. Play action, Graham Mertz, Jake Ferguson. Hey, Wisconsin not turning the football over, playing good defense. They win football games. How about that?
Looks like the Wisconsin we know and love.
Fourth quarter, Mertz keeping it himself. Second rushing touchdown of the game, and Wisconsin wins the Heartland Trophy 27-7. Oklahoma still rolling, number 4 in the country, taking on Texas Tech. Of course, Tech just fired the coach, Caleb Williams, difference maker for the Sioux City.
Caleb Williams finds Stoops. Always got to find a way to get a Stoops in the Oklahoma highlight.
That is a big-time catch for Stoops.
That's a big name in Oklahoma. They win again, 52-21. How about Texas, number 16, Baylor? Texas getting off to a good start again. Casey Thompson, Xavier Worthy.
Texas has found a way to start, fellas, but they cannot find a way to finish. Kudos to the Baylor Bears realizing, it don't matter if Texas get up on you. We gonna keep fighting. We gonna find a way to claw back.
Yeah, Horns for the third straight game, blowing a double-digit lead in a loss. Abram Smith taking it in, 32-yard score. Baylor, they're now 7-1 on the season, 31-24. How about them? Colorado, number 7, Oregon, Marcus Mariota in the house on his birthday. Former Duck, watching Byron Cardwell do that.
Oregon O-line opening massive hole right there.
Ducks lead at 14-0. Then second quarter, Anthony Brown under pressure.
This is one of my favorite plays of the day. Big-time throw with a guy hanging on you and a big-time catch.
Oregon rolls 52-29. All right, so they are the last hope in the Pac-12 for college football playoffs. What's their path of actually getting in to the top 4?
Keep winning. Keep winning. Just don't block out the noise. Don't worry about this, that, the other thing, and then cheer big time for Ohio State Buckeyes to keep winning.
God, Coach, that's such a dichotomy there because I do believe keep winning. That's the first line of defense. Handle your business or nothing else matters. But if Ohio State keeps winning, that same Ohio State team that Oregon beat, if Ohio State keeps winning and beats Michigan State, beats Penn State, goes on to win the Big Ten championship game, Ohio State's going to have a much more complete resume than Oregon ever had.
What I say is that's a heck of a team that Oregon beat.
Right. But see, how about both of them getting? How about maybe Cincinnati being the odd team out once again? So Cincinnati finishes the season undefeated, a one-loss Oregon team, that one loss against Washington without their offensive coordinator, and you beat Ohio State. Does Oregon get in over a Cincinnati team?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a hard call. What I think Oregon might be hoping for on Tuesday is that Cincinnati gets ranked maybe 3, hopefully 4. Then they'll have a chance to be bounced out late because some of their scheduling is not going to be as sexy as some of these other teams.
No, that's a very good point. I think Cincinnati, if they run the table, I do think Cincinnati will be secure. I think they'll be safe. Not only their body of work this year, I think voting members realize, wait a second, if this team can run the table, go out, beat Notre Dame on the road, week 4 of the season, and we still don't put Cincinnati in, then there is never a chance for a group of 5 team. Cincinnati wins out, they're in. Oregon has to win out and hope for some breaks.
Well, I think that's the whole reason we've got a bigger playoff format coming, because I think that could happen if Cincinnati gets ranked 4, 3, there could be a chance that they get bounced out just on strength of schedule.
They could both be out, too, because you might have 2 SEC teams. If Alabama wins out, beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, Oklahoma continues to win, a Big Ten championship.
Realistically, in all honesty, I think it's just going to be winning you're in. It's going to be very hard for Oklahoma to run the table from here on out. Going to be very hard for Oregon to run the table just by the nature of college football. Yeah. Cincinnati, they still have to play an SMU team that's now going to be even more upset going forward. Everybody just win. If you handle your business, you'll likely be.
Yeah, Oregon still got to, they still got to beat Washington. It's a tough game. Even though Washington struggling this season, they still got to beat Oregon State. Oregon State taking on Cal. And Oregon State, you thought Oregon State was going to beat Cal today? Not. Chase Garbers, Christopher Brooks right here. Down the sidelines, 38-yard score. Cal leads it 24-10, and then more from Garbers. Faking the handoff, then he's going deep down the sidelines to Trevon Clark.
Cal
wins it, 39-25.
Cal finally found their offense. The Bears have been looking for this all season long.
All right, Arizona, USC. Difficult season for USC, and it just got worse. Look, Drake London. One of the best wide receiver in football, going down on this play after scoring a touchdown. He had to be carted off. Oh, hard to look at. Lower leg injury, carted off, air cast. USC wins it 41-34. We'll get an update on his status. Meanwhile, SMU, Houston, SMU came in undefeated. Fourth quarter tied at 37. 30 seconds left. Marcus Jones, 8 career kickoff return touchdowns. Why do you kick the ball to him?
Coach, explain it to me, Coach.
That is the question that I think somebody's going to have to answer next week.
Nice.
What a great game.
102.
This was a great game that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. We're two really good teams.
Yeah, Houston and SMU now 71-44-37, the final there. Tomorrow, big doubleheader on Fox. First, the 49ers battle the Bears or other regional action. Then it's America's Game of the Week. Tom Brady leads the Buccaneers against Alvin Kamara and the Saints, all on Fox and Fox Sports app. Check your local listings for your game in your area. This is fun, guys. You guys had a good time?
Always is.
Always is. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. That's it for now. Second half between Washington and Stanford coming up.
Now the Washington defense shutting down the Cardinals so far, and they have the only takeaway of the game. Jackson Sermon with the INT. Second half coming up.
Give it away, give it away, give it away. Now rock it to the floor, give another
Beside dancing chicken at the end of that video. 9-3, Kicker's Delight as we start the third quarter. Alex and Petros back here with you. What are your takeaways from that first half?
You know, it was interesting. It looked like both teams wanted to come in and be really conservative and kind of reset their season and run the football and use the fullback and use the tight ends. And they both kind of did. When are things going to open up? Who's going to blink first and really start to take some shots down the field? We know both quarterbacks can do that. We'll find out here. We'll see if it opens up.
Washington has the ball to begin the second half. Seemed to establish that run game. They didn't really need much else there. Only 70 passing yards in that first half for the Huskies. They dominated on the ground, though, at 124. Our first half stats brought to you by PNC Bank. Changing how you handle overdrafts with low cash mode.
They really challenged the Cardinal, and I think Stanford expected that coming into this game. Dylan Morris has thrown 8 picks already this year, leads the Pac-12, and he has not really unleashed it with that arm talent down the field thus far in this one. And the same can be said for the Stanford QB, Tanner McKee.
It will be Washington ball to begin the second half. They won the toss and deferred to the second. McKee's only mistake was that throw that bounced around and became an interception. And for Morris on the evening, 10 for 14, 70 yards. Again, hasn't thrown it long distance as of yet. His primary target has been Rome Odunze, a freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Interesting turn of events right before halftime with the fumble from Cade Otton, and it looked like Jimmy Wyrick picked it up. He didn't have possession. Otton knocked it out of bounds, and Washington was able to hold on to the ball and tack on an extra 3 there.
I didn't know you could talk to wild trees.
Well, certainly you must have never been to Northern California.
Clearly, no. Not for an extended period of time.
I think she dropped her phone and she's trying to get the tree to pick it up, and the tree has no arms.
That would help. Oh, boy. Sean McGrew, I got nothing for you. Sean McGrew back to receive this kickoff, and they'll let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback.
Tree's got legs, but no arms.
Well, Washington, and you mentioned the big potential swing that didn't happen, right? It is a swing of some sorts. Washington got points out of it. They had the field goal to end the half, and Dylan Morris, last time out, only 35 yards through the air. He's doubled that through a half here tonight.
And speaking of arms, we just haven't seen him down the field to Terrell Bynum. We haven't seen him down the field. Odunze catching it short like you mentioned. And that's been a big part of Washington's offense up to this point this year.
The clock down to 3 as McGrew gets the call with the blocking fullback Javon forward creating some room for him, and a 2-yard gain on first down.
Good name for a blocking fullback. And that's what they're doing in the I formation. That time they got behind forward and Cade Otten, the big tight end, and they're just trying to get a push and establish that. Same way they started the first half.
Now, last week, remember, it was a struggle for Washington to get anything going on the ground. Finished with just 88 rushing yards against the Wildcats. Had to rally in the second half from down 13-0. McGrew again. He's tough to bring down, isn't he?
Absolutely. Strong-bodied guy, and you're going to see 66 again. Benavalu with a really nice pull and setting up that edge for McGrew to cut underneath. That's been the story thus far.
McGrew, the super senior from Torrance, California. And again, it is McGrew. First down run that nets him about 4.
And he is a guy that can keep carrying the load for you throughout the game. They don't normally do that. We haven't seen Kamari Pleasant, who's probably their meanest and biggest back. But McGrew, as you mentioned, is really tough to tackle. He's hard to see. And conversely, he sees very well, especially on the inside there.
Led the Huskies in rushing last week, and he's doing so again tonight. 11 carries for 75 yards. And McGrew this time meets resistance after he gets a couple of yards. Jordan Fox with a physical tackle.
Fox and Damouni came in. They saw Benavalu come in again and pull in. And those guys filled the gap along with Tucker Fisk.
I was going to say. He's impressive.
I remember Stanford in the Jim Harbaugh days had a great fullback who played both ways, Owen Marisic, who was a draft pick by the Cleveland Browns.
Third down and 3. Morris looking underneath. It's incomplete. Odunze the target. Fourth down.
And all you have to do is just get that one little bit of a stop if you're Stanford's defense. And then Washington doesn't have much of an answer in a third down situation. They've had success running the ball. That time they just put it in Morris's hands, and he's unable to make a play after getting run over a little bit. Nice stop by the Cardinal.
So it was all McGrew until the incomplete pass. And it's a stop for the Cardinal defense. There's Porter. Line drive. Wobbling punt taken at the 11-yard line. And some running room here for Bryce Farrell up to the 31. And the Cardinal will take over. Still looking for the game's first touchdown here. Tanner McKee will go back to work. And the Stanford team is capable of scoring. We saw that against Oregon. Saw that a couple of weeks ago against Washington State. Wound up being a 34-31 decision. Late rushing touchdown from Max Borghi. The go-ahead score for the Cougars. But for whatever reason, the third quarter has been an issue.
It has been a challenge. Let's see if they can overcome that now. They come out just like UW did in the second half, just like they all came out in the first half in that I formation.
From the 31, Austin Jones, stutter step, delaying long enough to get the edge set. And it's a pickup of about 2.
It's almost kind of like both teams with a poker face, you know, and nobody is really breaking that mold yet in this game. Lining up with the fullback and trying to get a push. It's a very close game. David Shaw's comfortable playing in a phone booth. He's comfortable playing spread out. It's part of the reason Stanford is Stanford. They have incredibly intelligent players. They mostly stick around the whole time, not a lot of transfers. They just can pile on and install.
The key to throw, and it's caught by Elijah Higgins at the 42, tackled by Jackson Sermon. Got them within about 3 yards of the line to make.
They're obviously having trouble. We talked about Kyler Gordon and Trent McDuffie early in this game. They're having trouble getting it out to the corners as we have one of the Stanford Cardinals down.
That's Higgins who's shaken up after the tackle. And we'll step aside. Well, Stanford's already without John Humphreys and Bryson Tremaine. And now Elijah Higgins goes off to the tent. Doesn't appear to be serious from the outside, but will get evaluated. So, Cardinal, 3rd down and 3 from their own 38. He's going to be the first to blink here. Washington bringing pressure. Throw is incomplete. Off the hands of Michelle Powell in tight coverage.
Powell right on top of that and knocks it away. Like you said, they're trying to get the slant route. It's that pinpoint passing that has been good for Stanford up to this point, but blanket coverage by Powell, the freshman out of Chicago.
Tell you what, twice they've targeted Silas Starr. Twice he has had no room. 4th down. And this punt from Ryan Sanborn will, let's see, this went out well ahead of the 20. Are they going to mark this?
Oh, that's a rough punt.
40-yard line. So tomorrow night, after the Braves won tonight, Game 5 of the World Series, Altuve and the Astros up against it now. Freeman and the Braves looking to bring back the world title to Atlanta after a quarter century. Our coverage gets underway 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Dylan Morris and the Huskies here. So last drive for Washington, it was the Sean McGrew show until the incomplete pass on 3rd down gave the ball back to the Cardinal. Morris, off play action. He'll take a shot down the sideline and overthrown. Flag comes in. Terrell Bynum, the intended target. Huskies have yet to take a penalty here.
Offense number 66, 10-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
Baini Valu, a junior, guilty of the hold.
Baini Valu's played very well. He's number 66. So he's right here. And just kind of rode Winnie Perry toward the quarterback. Washington did take a shot, though. That's the first one we've seen.
Yeah. For the 20-yard line. And it's McGrew on 1st and 20. Gets about 7 of it back.
We haven't seen Kamari Pleasant yet. Cameron Davis really established himself pretty well in that first half, but like you're saying, so far in the 3rd quarter, it's been all McGrew who comes out now.
2nd down and 13. Cameron Davis checks back in. On the tight end on the right side. And it's Davis who bounces off a tackle and has forward progress marked at the 33 after a gain of 6. It'll still be a 3rd and long for Washington. Now you may have noticed when the Huskies started their drive at their own 20 after the penalty yardage, 1-yard marker was painted red. Well, that was in honor of the tragedy of the last couple of years at Utah. 2 players that have worn number 22 who lost their lives recently. As Morris steps up and throws behind his intended receiver. 4th down.
It doesn't feel like Washington wanted to be in that situation, throwing the ball down the field. The holding penalty is what really forced them to drop Morris back and try to move around and make something happen. A couple of errant passes, that one trying to get to Odunze. And after the bad punt, Stanford holds, and we're in a classic field position, field goal battle on the farm.
All right. Punts here for Race Porter. And from the 25, Farrell has a block. Flag comes in. He's out near midfield, but we'll check the penalty marker here.
During the return, holding return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be Stanford's ball, 1st and 10.
So Stanford will go back to work when we come back. All right, tomorrow, big doubleheader on Fox. 49ers and Bears, or other regional action. And then America's Game of the Week, Tom Brady and the Bucks, Alvin Kamara and the Saints. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check your local listings for the game in your area. That's exactly what I don't want to dress up for Halloween.
Oh, I thought that was one of our guys. No. Officials love field goals.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, here's McKee. They'll keep it short. And some running room now for Jurasic, who finally gets brought down by Dominique Hampton. First down and a whole lot more for the tight end.
Getting Jurasic going, running down the field is something they did early in the game. Very simple movement play. They get him running with McKee. All McKee has to do is drop it off and let that guy take a little something out of the defense. Love watching Jurasic develop in this offense.
23 yards. And a first down for the Cardinal. And this play blown up in the backfield. Nathaniel Pete, we haven't seen him in a little while. And coming in for the tackle for loss, Carson Bruner. He's been all over it tonight.
Yeah, over 10 tackles in this game at least already. And that time shows up in the backfield and makes a good, sure tackle on Pete.
That's number 11 for Bruner overall tonight. Leading tackler for the Huskies. Second down. And down goes McKee. He fumbles the football. It's Washington with the recovery. Savelle Smalls, the freshman, picks it up. It's Bruner who knocked it out, and he continues to have a phenomenal night defensively. The Huskies get the takeaway, and they'll have a short field.
Well, this is the moment. It comes here off the edge. Bruner, you see him just scrape there on the edge and makes a play on McKee. McKee didn't see him coming, and McKee's a big target at 6'6". He's able to get that ball out, puts his head right between the 1 and the 8, and then the Dogs go scrambling for the rock, and now Washington making some business after an explosive play from the tight end.
Second turnover for the Cardinal tonight. And the Huskies up by 6 with a big opportunity here to extend the lead. They will take a look at this, however. My question would be, Petros, what for?
Well, let's take a look, see if it's a clear fumble or if the hand was going forward. Here comes Bruner. That's a clear fumble. That ball was down around his midsection, was not in the motion of a throw at all. And that's clear possession for the Dogs.
After review, the ruling on the field of a fumble and a recovery by the defense is confirmed. First down, Washington.
It was a lot quicker than the first one.
Yeah. A little bit less to sort out of that. just a smidge. So, Washington ball now. And given the way this game's gone, how big might this possession be? A chance to make it a two-possession game. Ball at the Stanford 34. Morris under center, Davis in the backfield, Otten in motion. There is Davis. And Davis off the edge. Spins forward, thought he could have had more. In the end, he picks up 6 on first down.
He's been productive running the ball. Live-bodied guy, redshirt freshman out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. Had a fumble versus Oregon State that kind of had him out of favor for a while, but looks like he's starting to get it rolling in this game again.
A give to Davis once again. And he'll come close to the first down. Thomas Booker with the tackle, and they move the sticks. The Huskies are chewing him up on the ground. Here comes McGrew back into the game, leading rusher for the Huskies.
Jimmy Lake knows this is what this team needs. They need to play more to that defense. They need to play more to their strengths. Dylan Morris has been mistake prone, so take the ball out of his hands in some of these instances.
Dump it off here to Devin Culp, one of their tight ends. His first catch of the night. Nicholas Toomer rides him out of bounds. Picks up about 3. Second down.
Culp played pretty well when Cade Otten was out. Richard Newton was probably going to be the starting tailback for Washington this year. So a lot of adjustment for these teams. You know, he's out for the season. A lot of different guys have had to step up and become bell cows in their particular role.
McGrew in the backfield here on second down. From the 20, off play action, Morris looks to the end zone. It is incomplete. Odunze nearly able to reel it in. Caillou Blue Kelly in coverage. Third down.
Caillou Blue Kelly, the son of the great corner from USC and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Brian Kelly, had the big pick 6 against USC. Right on top of that one, doesn't let Odunze get both hands on it. A lot of hand fighting there, and he does have a hold of the arm. But no flag, and then a very impressive way to get up.
3rd and 7. Now this time it's McGrew. Spinning forward, tackled by Jordan Fox. Ankle tackle prevented McGrew from even sniffing the first down.
And a run play on 3rd down lets you know just what type of game this has been and what Jimmy Lake has told his offensive coordinator, John Donovan, as far as what he wants accomplished. Stanford down almost every wide receiver on their roster from their starting point this season. Maybe doesn't feel like they can do much scoring against the Dogs' defense.
Peyton Henry with his 4th field goal of the night. They've all been pretty much in chip shot range, but the fumble comes back to haunt the Cardinal. And it's a 2-possession game. Huskies up 12-3. Well, Washington, even though they have kept the ball for the most part out of the hands of their quarterback, Dylan Morris, Tanner McKee, and the Cardinal just have not been able to, from really that opening drive, Petros, right? You're early in the game, they were able to move the ball with efficiency. Not so since then.
No, and you figure their receivers have been taken away by the Washington corners, or they're basically all injured. It's been a tight end and running back game, and that hasn't been enough for the Cardinal to really move the ball at all at this point.
John Humphrey's out. Saw Higgins go out, but he's back now. 6 in black.
Bryson Tremaine went down earlier in the season. That kind of opened things up for John Humphreys, who really was great. He's been banged up. Looks like he'll probably be back next week. Higgins we saw in the injury tent. What kind of adjustments has David Shaw and Tavita Pritchard, his OC, made to try to make some hay out here?
Colby Bowman checks in, bottom of your picture. Instead, they'll go on the crossing route to Lucas Unger, the tight end. And he is met immediately by Dominique Hampton. Picks up 5 on first down for the Cardinal.
Finn at safety. Cameron Williams has been banged up. Alex Cook not playing. We talked about him being carted off last week. Hampton's filled in pretty well. That was a good rally to the tackle.
Second down and 5. Bouncing back is Austin Jones after it looked like he ran into his own man there. And he will get the first down for Stanford. So just to speak to this, Petros, 120 yards of the first 3 drives for Stanford. Since then, their next 3, just a total of 40.
They just haven't been able to build on anything that they had going. In the first half, they've Jeremiah Martin there, the transfer, being led off. He's really one of the only transfers, along with Buki Radley-Hiles, that Washington has gotten a lot of production out of.
Radley-Hiles at Oklahoma, Martin from Texas A&M. First down for the Cardinals. At their own 37. Farrell in motion, McKee this way, and the catch is made by Higgins. He'll turn upfield and get into Washington territory. Tackled by Bruner, who now has at least a dozen on the night for the Huskies. First down, Stanford.
Well, it looked like they were flying by to the seat of their pants, but they really weren't. It's a nice play by Urasek, making a block there on the wide receiver screen, and the offensive line gets out in front of him. Higgins breaks a tackle to kind of get the explosive play going. And now Stanford looks like they have a little bit of life offensively.
Higgins looks to be okay, which is important for them. First down in Huskies territory. Here comes the blitz. McKee slings it near side, incomplete. Over the head of Silas Starr, who again has had trouble dealing with Trent McDuffie all night.
He was right on him. They threw at McDuffie early, the play right before, which is a screen. They're not really throwing at him, so they think that they could take advantage of him here. Starr has a bit of a step, but the makeup speed on McDuffie is really something else. The sophomore out of Westminster, California, the pride of St. John Bosco in Bellflower, one of the better defenders in the Pac-12.
And supposedly he's not 100%. He's been banged up a little bit. Hasn't really been returning kicks for them this year, at least recently. McKee to the tight end, Urasek. And he is tackled at the 42. It's Bruner again with the stop, his 14th tackle of the night. It's a 6-yard pickup on first down.
You know, without Eddie Olafosio, their best linebacker, they were really worried about their linebacker play in this game. And guys like Jackson Sermon, Bruner, Cooper McDonald, we just saw make a tackle. They have really played well in this game and battled a physical and big Stanford front.
3rd and 4. McKee kept it short, but Austin Jones unable to reel it in. And yet again, a pass off the hands that could have been danger. 4th down.
McKee gets it out fast as Jones is kind of having some momentum running outside. I guess the idea was that he would catch it and turn and try to get the first down, but again, just not a lot of opportunities down the field for Stanford, and here they go.
Offense stays on the field. They'll break the huddle. We'll see if they intend on running a play. Play clock down to 1. And they will run a play here. Flag comes in. Could be a freebie. It's incomplete, but it looked like Washington jumped.
This will be interesting. They did not blow a whistle, so that would make us believe that Washington did jump.
Offside.
And it was a free play.
Defense number 58.
Wow. There it is.
5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And they got Zion Tupola Fetui ZTR, their best pass rusher. They're trying to get more involved in the game. Number 58 in the neutral zone. Well executed by the Cardinal. They have a real shot to do something offensively they haven't done since the first quarter.
So the Cardinal get the first down by way of penalty. Austin Jones fights his way for a couple yards in first down. We really haven't talked much about ZTF tonight for Washington. Don't know if he's on a pitch count or maybe just still not 100% as of yet, coming back from that Achilles injury. That's probably one of the hardest ones to come back from.
He came back quick too.
Yeah.
Came back in 6 months. Usually he's supposed to take about 9. Hurt it in the spring, in April.
Pretty good gain on first down. Gave Austin Jones 5. And they'll keep it on the ground. And they'll keep it with Jones. He gets to the 25 and has a first down for the Cardinal. And all of a sudden, Stanford is putting together a nice drive here. Gain of 7 for Jones.
Nothing complicated about this. They give the ball to the junior out of Antioch. They lead Himuli through. And it's just a classic Stanford zone. You could have Toby Gerhart running that ball, Christian McCaffrey, Stephon Taylor, any of those guys. Echoes of yesteryear.
See if that holding penalty winds up costing points for Washington. Here's E.J. Smith along the near sideline. And he gets a couple. Jackson Sermon drags him out of bounds.
McKee looked better there dealing with the rush. He saw that there was some pressure and that Austin Jones probably wasn't going to be able to pick it up. So he gets it out very quickly to E.J. Smith. Earlier in the game, we've seen him eat a couple balls and take sacks unnecessarily. Looks like he's picking up on what Washington's doing.
I think I mischaracterized the penalty. The offside penalty that was the key part of this drive. Here's McKee. And he completes to the 16-yard line. Elijah Higgins upended by Radley Hiles there. And it'll set up a third down and short.
Big shot in the arm for the Cardinal that Higgins was able to get back out onto the field and contribute. We saw him with the wide receiver screen toward McDuffie earlier in this drive. That catch there, the junior from Austin, Texas, doing well, and now they're in that Wildcat look.
That's Isaiah Sanders. He'll get the first down. He has a specialized job on this Stanford offense. 3 seasons of the Air Force Academy. So you know he knows how to run the ball. Picks up a first down here for the Cardinals.
And we were talking about it earlier, Alex. They don't take a lot of transfers. You really got to be able to do something. He finds his fullback that time. Bounces off and resilient for the first down.
So that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. With the Cardinal knocking on the door. They've had chances in the red zone tonight. They're still trying to get over the ref costume thing here. Washington with the lead. Stanford driving. Stanford, 58-yard drive to begin the game. Got a field goal out of it. Nothing since. And last time the Cardinal in the red zone, McKee threw that interception at the Washington 15-yard line. Stanford knocking on the door here. 11-play, 63-yard drive to set them up in the red zone for the 4th time tonight.
They've been getting a good push on this drive with their offensive line, but remember, Urasek, the tight end, has been probably the most productive receiver for McKee in this game. Here he is here.
Beg your pardon, 3rd time tonight in the red zone for Stanford. On the 12, it's Austin Jones ripped down inside the 5-yard line. Dominique Hampton with the stop. Just shy of the line to make. 2nd down.
Just a Nice little isolation play. He follows the fullback and Urasek, the tight end, with a nice block.
Wildcat again. This is where Sanders comes into the game. Timeout taken.
Timeout. Stanford, their first of the half. This will be 30-second timeout.
Sanders calling a timeout like he's the quarterback. The Wildcat, you don't see that very much. Usually that guy's just itching to get the ball snapped.
Sanders transferred to Stanford, pursuing a master's now in engineering. What do you expect from an Air Force Academy transfer? Had a degree in systems engineering from the Air Force Academy. It was back in 2019. Donald Hammond III was the quarterback there and had displaced Sanders. And, of course, there's no opportunity for graduate year there. So decided to continue his football playing career.
Not a bad place to land on the farm.
No.
College utopia. They're going to stay in that look. Bring Sanders back out in the Wildcat after the timeout call.
Sanders has 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. Jay Simons in his hip pocket, blocking fullback. And there's motion up front.
This is the type of stuff that kills you when you're trying to push it in with the run game and you haven't been able to trust things through the air.
False start. Offense number 24. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's on a 2nd and 1 at the 3-yard line.
And that is Simons, who you mentioned, number 24. He's in that 2-point stance and just gets his hands down because the defensive line shift. And they knew it. I think David Shaw's thinking that they might have barked out a signal.
Timeout, Washington.
Timeout, Washington. Their first of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
David Shaw on the field trying to plead his case for an illegal signal. So it's a 2nd down and 6 now from the Washington 8s. It's that kind of night, right? We're still waiting for the game's first touchdown.
You know, it's been that kind of night, and when you get close like this, and like Stanford is, these opportunities have been so few and far between throughout this game that these coaches are really taking their time to think about it, call timeouts, and talk it over. The penalty really hurt Stanford with what they were trying to do on this drive was push it in. They're not trying to throw the ball. They're not trying to challenge McDuffie or Gordon, and losing 5 yards there is a tough pill to swallow.
Carson Bruner, what a night he's had. Leading the Huskies with 15 tackles. Austin Jones in the backfield here. He'll get the call. Jones stopped at the 4-yard line by Hampton. And they're right back where they started.
And it looked like he was going in with the momentum, but Carson Bruner got on his legs and Hampton got him up top, and they were able to physically stop Jones' momentum. Thought it was going to carry him closer to the goal line, but like you said, they're back where they started. What's the play call?
The key under center. Give to Jones, and he gets to the 1.5 before meeting resistance. Trent McDuffie was in there among a whole host of hands.
It was Jackson Sermon and McDuffie that ended the journey of Jones right there at the 1.
Well, at the very least, it's a first down and goal. Jones right back to the original line of scrimmage. The one benefit there, they didn't have to get it to the goal line, get a fresh set of downs here and work on it some more.
That really was their saving grace after the penalty. See how conservative David Shaw remains. They've run it so many times here. A little pop pass to a tight end would not be out of the question.
McKee taken off. McKee lunging to the goal line. Did he get there? Yes! Touchdown, Stanford.
Well, it was a slog. There's no doubt about it. But McKee gets it into the end zone, mostly because he's 6'6". I mean, he just stretches out that long body. Carson Bruner is going to get to him, but just doesn't get enough of a piece of McKee to stop his momentum. Great play by the quarterback, and what patience by the Cardinal, and everybody out here waiting for that first touchdown.
Stanford within 3, but let's make sure he broke the plane first.
Check out those knees and elbows. Hand is down, legs are up. That's a touchdown.
That's a score, yeah. At first, watching it live, it looked a lot closer than what that replay just showed.
It's hard to know where your legs are, if it's a hand or an elbow. You know, all those things, they shake out in the replay, but well done by McKee, showing a lot of control with that big body. As he is one of those big, smart throwers that we've seen at Stanford over the years. Andrew Luck comes to
After
mind.
review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Tanner McKee, you mentioned he'd been away from football for a couple of years. The missionary work in Brazil. Returned home right as the pandemic was taking hold last year. Took over for Davis Mills this offseason. And a patient drive using the ground game with McKee to finish it off. And Stanford with the game's first touchdown. They are within 2 on the far.
Shout out, shout out. It's just the same old.
All right, well, that was some drive. 16 plays, 75 yards. They ran 5 plays inside the 5-yard line.
That's what it took, and sometimes it takes that kind of wherewithal to finally break through in a football game. You know, here in the fourth quarter, Tanner McKee getting his team, wheeling his team on the scoreboard touchdown-wise with that nice run and stretching that body out. See how Washington responds here. They are on the road.
Huskies still have the lead, 12-10. Line drive kickoff that goes out and will result in an infraction.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Been a little while since Washington's had the ball. Stanford chewing up some clock here. We're in the 4th by the Bay. Huskies over the Cardinals. A game that a couple of years ago was a top 10 battle. Well, these two teams slugging it out, trying to stay alive in the Pac-12 North. Both a game under 500 on the season. Oregon now at 4-1. Oregon State losing tonight. Washington at 2-2. A game and a half back of the Ducks in the Pac-12 North. Washington State won again. What a story that's become.
Great win for Coach Dickert down in Tempe.
Huskies ball at the 35. It's Cam Davis rumbling ahead for a first down.
And all that running that both of these teams have been doing, and all that zone blocking and all that physicality, you're hoping that it pays dividends now and that these defenses are tired. As you see, Davis has got some momentum and some confidence. His body looks alive. And we really kind of saw that on the other side of the ball with Stanford. They're starting to get a push, and their runs are starting to open up. Patience with the run.
Davis already in career-high rushing yards tonight, and he's into Stanford territory.
A lot of the same stuff we've seen. Javon forward and fullback leading through for Davis. There's forward. You're going to see him coming right back through the hole. Nice collision with Liaison.
Davis now up to a career-high 91 yards on the evening. And the entire Stanford Cardinal team only with 56. 2nd and 2. Davis again burrowing forward, but he is pushed back after a 1-yard gain. Mark forward progress at the 45-yard line. Tobin Phillips, haven't called his name yet tonight, the sophomore from Fresno.
Another one of those young guys that's growing in this Stanford defense. They really are playing a lot of guys like they do every year, playing for the future. Phillips just his 4th tackle of the year.
Third down and 1. Huge play here for the Stanford defense. It's Davis, and he won't get there. Maybe he did on the second effort. Boy, I thought they knocked him off his feet in that first surge, but a great second effort from Davis, and depending on the spot, he has the first down.
Yeah, he really did get stoned at the line of scrimmage, didn't he? But he was able to bounce back a little bit and fall forward. It was Nicholas Toomer, the cornerback out of Georgia, that came in and made the violent hit. Davis looks like he's got most of the field on his jersey at this point in the game. It's been that type of game.
Going to measure this just to be sure. Based on the spot, it looked like he had it, but this scientific method will determine it for us.
Heavy science.
Yes. Oh my. Oh my. 4th and inches. What do you do here if you're Washington?
You got to get out there and push. But, you know, punting the ball in this situation with the way this game has gone and the way your defense has played and how good your corners have been, that's not a bad call either.
Offense stays on the field. And why not the way they've run the ball tonight? 191 rushing yards for the Huskies. Cameron Davis again is in the backfield. And it's Morris with a keeper, and he will not get it. The ball came out. They blow it dead. Noah Williams picked it up, but forward progress appeared to be stopped.
It looked as if Davis had the old Bush push on him, Cameron Davis, which is legal now. And that might have been, if he gets it, it's because Davis, 22, pushed him for it. Originally, no push on the line of scrimmage. And then Davis comes in and pushes him at the end, but it looked like at that point Gabe Reed was kind of bending him back.
Huskies turn it over on downs. And the Cardinal with a bit of momentum here. Their defense coming up with a huge stop on 4th down. They'll have the ball back. What a turn of events for the Cardinal, finally breaking through for the game's first touchdown, and then a huge defensive stand to get the ball back at their own 45-yard line. Tanner McKee dropping back on 1st down, delivers a strike. It's Austin Jones into Washington territory after a pickup of 9.
The nickel dime stuff down the field to the backs, the outlet routes and things like that were successful for Stanford early in the game, and it seems like some of that stuff that worked early, the run game and the short passing of McKee, is working here in the 4th quarter.
Did give him an extra yard in the end, so they move the chains. It's a 1st down for Stanford. Jones with Houston Hamley, the fullback, and McKee under center. Jones again. Tui Nasanoa with the tackle after a gain of 2.
Jones felt like that was pretty close. He was following the fullback, Houston Amuli, into the line of scrimmage, and they got to his legs before he could bust out. Now Stanford spreads him out and empty.
He's thrown for 194 yards tonight. Here comes the blitz, and he throws it away quickly. Bradley Hiles was coming after him.
Well timed by Bradley Hiles on the blitz, and McKee never looks over to the blitzer to see the area that Hiles vacated. He just keeps it to the left side and is lucky that he got rid of that.
3rd and 7. McKee being tracked down, stays on his feet. Flag comes in. He is brought down eventually by Bruner, who's having a career night. Cooper McDonald nearby as well. But let's check the flag here.
See what the flag is. McKee got away at first and even got his hand down to stay up, but couldn't keep his eyes downfield at that point.
Holding defense number 22. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot results in a first down.
Think of the 2 key penalties in this game from Washington. Maybe that just now and the offside penalty earlier.
They got the excellent corner, Trent McDuffie, lined up with Silas Starr. Let's see if he held him. Yeah, that's a hold.
Will that come back to haunt the Huskies?
Very costly. Now he's one-on-one with the best receiver, Elijah Higgins.
From the 33, McKee to the outside, incomplete off the hands of E.J. Smith. Kyler Gordon in coverage.
They try to go the other side. Kyler Gordon. Just not a lot there with those 2 great Washington corners. But you'd expect them to be able to do more with the safeties and in the interior of the defense with the way those guys play. And today their linebackers have been playing great.
Keep it on the ground here. Most of the work in the run game has been with Austin Jones for Stanford tonight. This is a team that's run a bit of a gauntlet this year. Tough opener against K-State in Arlington. Played a ranked USC team at the time, beat them at the Coliseum. Lost to a ranked UCLA team. Beat number 3 Oregon before losing to Arizona State and Washington State the last 2 weeks. 3rd down. Jones searching for the edge. Lunging for the first down, but he's marked out after Dominic Hampton pushed him out at the original line of scrimmage. 4th down.
Hampton really stayed after him. Watch number 21 just fighting him all the way to the edge, fighting off the blocks and just willing that to happen till his teammates could come and push him out of bounds. Yards are not easy to come by, are they, in this one?
This is going to be a long field goal attempt, 44 yards. Within range for Joshua Carty. On the left hash to give Stanford the lead. And it is good. And Stanford has come back from down 12-3 to take the lead. How about this for a score? 13-12. 92nd all-time meeting between Stanford and Washington, a series that is virtually dead even. Stanford leading 44-43 in terms of wins. They've tied 4 times. First met in 1893. And this is, well, yeah, who could ever forget that?
I think that was Bill Walsh versus Don James.
Wait, really?
No, but they both coached there.
Well, the Huskies having a hard time here on the farm. Fair catch for the touchback. Looking for their first road win here since 2007. And Dylan Morris and this team, they've mostly kept it on the ground. 191 rushing yards for the Huskies tonight.
See what they try to pull out here. They cannot be deterred by the disappointment of being stopped on those 2 razor-thin spots on the Davis run and then Dylan Morris's failed sneak attempt. They were moving the ball and they had some offensive confidence going. It looks like they're staying in that I formation, and there's plenty of time for them to be like they've been the entire game, which is conservative.
Sean McGrew in the backfield here with Javon Ford at fullback. McGrew the carry, and he gets 1, maybe 2 as he stays on his feet. Running into the pile, Ryan Johnson there on the tackle. Alabama native. Stanford recruits from all over the country.
All over the world, really. I mean, it's a wild recruiting base, and there's so few players that say no to Stanford that it's a kind of a wall of fame over the years for people that have gone through the entire application process and not ended up wearing that uniform.
2nd and 8. Morris to pass, and it's caught. It's McMillan, and a first down for the Huskies. Caillou Blue Kelly with the tackle.
It's at least the second time they've been able to get McMillan on a slant. He's able to get right in front of the face of Caillou Blue Kelly and cross it. And an accurate throw by Morris. We'll see if that gives him some confidence going forward here in this drive.
First down to the 44 after a 17-yard catch. Morris off the play fake. Again, it's McMillan. Again, it's a first down, and they're into Stanford territory.
And that's happening because they ran that run play so many times where they pulled Benivalu. This time they run some action off of it and are able to slide it again down the field to McMillan. See if they can capitalize on that. It's kind of like stacking plays.
Noah now the leading receiver for Washington. 4 catches for 53 yards. And the Huskies are moving here. The clock inside of 5.5 to play. Pass incomplete, intended for Bynum. I beg your pardon. Flag comes in. Jimmy Wyrick, nickel in coverage. Lavani Demooney nearby as well.
How early was Wyrick on this? They run the same action.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Well, that can happen when you run play action and you keep running that same action. You end up with somebody in no man's land. And here he is. Yeah.
They kept moving and moving.
Pretty close, but drew the flag.
First down at 15 now. It's McGrew. And he'll get 1 here. Clock approaching 5 minutes to play. Huskies looking to stay alive. And the race for the Pac-12 North. Remember, they would have represented the North last year in the Pac-12 championship game, and COVID issues, and there were many across college football, but especially in the Pac-12 late in the season, derailed those hopes.
They'll send Oregon down to the Coliseum to embarrass USC.
Morris throws on time. It's Odunze who lunges ahead close to the marker, and the spot should give it to him. Beg your pardon, never mind. I didn't take into account the penalty yards there. It's the 3rd down. Gain of 4.
What do you do if you're Washington in your playbook in this situation? 3rd and 10, and Dylan Morris has not really thrown the ball downfield much at all tonight.
You're going to have to here. Underneath to Odunze, and he is tackled at the 35-yard line, well short. 4th down.
And if you want to throw for the first down, you got to have a route at the sticks, at least. But Washington is going to keep that offense on the field. Perhaps that was the plan all along, as Morris is ready with a 4th and 5 play call.
3.5 to go. 4th down for the Huskies. And that is a true 5 that they need to get. Morse steps up, throws, incomplete. Caillou Blue Kelly all over Rome Odunze, and the Huskies turn it over on downs.
Nice complimentary Stanford defense. They get the big rush from Reed and the nice hands from Kelly. The tree is growing.
Petros, it is your favorite segment of the game. The smoking player of the game, brought to you by Old Trapper. What's your beef?
We got some smoking kickers, Alex. These guys are our players of the game. They haven't missed.
There's a make. There's another one. Peyton Henry and Joshua Carty. Look at that perfection. Old Trapper smoking players of the game.
A true kicker's paradise on the farm tonight.
Stanford with the lead. 13-12 with the ball. Approaching 3 minutes to go. Austin Jones gets the carry here. And we'll see how Washington wants to approach the timeout situation. They'll take one here.
Timeout, Washington. Their second charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout. Game timer, please reset the clock to 3:03.
So the Huskies next week will host Oregon in Seattle. Arizona State went down tonight.
This one is probably the angriest rivalry, believe it or not, in the Pac-12. And it's not Oregon State, and it's not the Apple Cup. It's different. It is bloody with vitriol. There's no doubt about it. That one's always fun. Arizona State, huge step back today, but it looked like they were controlling the South.
Hey, Wazoo. Tell you what, that's the most interesting story right now in the Pac-12, for my money at least.
Absolutely. Coach Dickert comes from that North Dakota State, Wyoming coaching tree. We know those guys have had a lot of success and really disciplined coach, and they played great defensively, especially in the first half, forcing 4 turnovers.
First things first, to see if they can get the ball back here. Jones once again gets the call, and he meets Trent McDuffie. Just over 3 minutes to play. Timeout, Washington.
Yeah, I wish Jones would have kept his eyes up a little bit. I think he had a cut to the outside if he wanted it. He sort of was running to get tackled there here in the 4-minute drill as Stanford is up one.
All right, let's check the upcoming schedule for the Cardinal. Next Friday, we'll see them as they host Utah, a team that right now is in the driver's seat in the Pac-12 South. Big game a week before Thanksgiving, and then Notre Dame to finish it out.
Think about Cam Rising taking over at quarterback for Utah. Tanner McKee taking over at quarterback for Stanford. Chance Nolan up at Oregon State taking over at quarterback. A lot of exciting guys that didn't start the season as the signal caller. Going to be an interesting push down the stretch for David Shaw's team. They're very much used to growing a lot in November, winning football games and finishing strong. And if that happens, look out in 2022 with this team.
They're down in 4 here. In the Stanford 40. Austin Jones is in the backfield. McKee to throw, and it's incomplete, and it stops the clock for Washington with 2:57 to go. He was under duress.
That's a huge play for Washington to not only get Stanford off the field, but to force the incompletion. What screwed up the timing of the play was McKee slipping, and he was not able to get it out there with any kind of momentum going toward the sticks. Unfortunate. A couple of guys have slipped in this game, and it's really cost him.
Giles Jackson back deep at his own 15. And so Stanford, I don't know if they got this off.
Delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
We put a second back on the game clock here. All right, they get the stop, and then they turn it over.
2-5-7.
Presumably here with the punt. 3 and out.
It looked like the personal protector, Bailey Parsons, was barking out the signal. He just couldn't get the ball snapped on time. He was very demonstrative.
So Sanborn gets it away. And it's a short punt. Out of bounds. Let's see where this is marked. At the 32.
What an opportunity for the Dogs. After it looked like Stanford was going to be able to slowly choke them out. They don't have any timeouts left, but not only did they get off the field, they get an incompletion, a shanked punt, and a big opportunity after a frustrating night offensively for Dylan Morris and this offense to kind of redeem themselves.
It winds up being a 32-yard punt out at the Washington 33. 2:51 to go. No timeouts for the Huskies. Plenty of time to work with here, however. How do they approach this? A run game that's been great for them all night.
Well, at a certain point, they just got to get into their 2-minute, depending on what the time ends up being. They don't have any timeout.
Morris locates McMillan for the first down.
That'll stop the clock and allow them to get it together. And the timing on the clock will really dictate what Washington's able to do. There's a lot of time there. See how Morris handles his 2-minute. He could come alive.
Keep it on the ground to McGrew, and he gets a hole. McGrew into Stanford territory. Finally brought down at the 40. Noah Williams got a hand in on the tackle, but the Huskies are in business. They'll stop the clock briefly. 2:31 to go. 16 yards for McGrew. Morris hands it off to McGrew again. This time goes nowhere. Keep an eye on that clock.
Ricky Miazon that time makes a good tackle on McGrew as the clock continues to run. They need to get closer to have a more makeable field goal try. And I think they will play for the field goal. Dylan Morris throwing the ball down the field just hasn't been part of the Washington offense tonight. Would they take that chance now?
2nd and 9. They gave him a yard. McGrew right up the middle. Fought for a couple of extra yards. And he's down to the 35-yard line, setting up 3rd down. Timeout Stanford.
Game timer, please reset the clock to 1:38. Thank you.
Why Stanford would call a timeout here to give Washington a chance to kind of reset themselves and look at what they're doing is interesting. The Dogs have to get a lot closer here to get into field goal range. This is a huge 3rd down call. Obviously 4-down territory until they get into range.
Career long for Peyton Henry is 49 yards against Cal back in 2019. And they're about at that right now. 3rd and 4. Dunze in motion. Here's Cameron Davis up the handoff, and Davis scampers ahead and moves the sticks. That's a big first down for Washington. Clock stops briefly, but the Huskies seemingly now in control the final moments of this game.
Davis has been up to the challenge of carrying the ball late in this game. They give him the ball out on the edge and let him create a little bit. Strong run to create more of a positive situation for Washington as the kicker looks on.
On first down, I'll give it to Davis. Searching for some room, and he's pushed back. So if they mark this as a loss here, we'll give him 1 with forward progress. Clock moves inside of a minute to go.
Peyton Henry warming up. Young man out of Danville, California, the kicker. Bay Area guy. East Bay, of course.
Morris keeps the football, and he is inside the 20-yard line, tackled shy of the first down. Give him 7. What a fake from Morris.
They were waiting to uncork that, and nobody saw that one coming, and that's why it worked.
Third and final of the half. 30-second timeout. Game timer, please reset the clock to 26 seconds. 26 seconds. Thank you.
Just totally sells the fake to everybody. Great ball handling. Reminiscent of the great Steve DeBerg.
Stanford calls time preserving whatever seconds they think they might have left here to get the ball back. 32, so what would you do here, Petros? Would you throw a pass, try to get a quick stoppage, or just go for
Not
it here?
at this
What do you
point.
want to
I
do?
mean, the way they've set it up and the way they've played this entire drive is to get the field goal. And to take that kind of chance after you've set yourself up for the win with the field goal, I don't think they would do. But this has been a grab bag of a year offensively for the Dogs with John Donovan. And now they are in a shotgun look.
My only thought is they have no timeout, so even if you wanted to position the ball on a hash mark, you don't have that luxury. Morris drops back, airs it, end zone, caught! Touchdown, Washington! Jalen McMillan! And the Huskies have taken the lead. They haven't gone downfield hardly all night. And McMillan reels it in for the 20-yard score. And the Huskies are out in front.
It wasn't that kind of night until the very end, and the good night salute from Dylan Morris uncorks that ball downfield finally. McMillan wide open. They're going for 2.
Run it quickly, and it's Giles Jackson. Washington figures it out late in this game. They get the 2-point conversion. They are up by 7 with 21 seconds to go.
Two-point conversion, same run action they've been using all night. This time they run an end around out of it. And the patience for Washington pays off, lulling Stanford to sleep until the final moments where Dylan Morris shows that arm talent and throws it to the end zone. That's the offense we've been waiting for all night from him.
It took about 59 minutes to find it. But the Huskies, barring a miracle, will come out of Stanford with their first win on this turf in 14 years.
They're going to have to squib this kick. Stanford used all their timeouts on that drive, trying to scheme it up defensively. And Jimmy Lake's guys, with patience all night, finally come through at the end. And you think about that incomplete pass that stopped the clock for Tanner McKee that gave Washington the ball back. Huge moment.
Line drive kick. Taken out from the 3. And it is Peets rumbling all the way up to the 40-yard line. 13 seconds to go. And all you have here is a hope and a prayer.
And to me, you squib that kick. You don't give him an opportunity to make that return and run a return. Pete was one broken tackle away from still running that football. Force an overtime, possibly. McKee's got a big arm now.
To go for it all here in the first one, or you try to shave the yardage a bit?
You try to get something to the sideline, get out of bounds, and then go for it.
McKee has time. He'll step up and throw. It's intercepted. And that will do it. Bradley Hiles secures the game for the Washington Huskies.
They try to get something down the field and into double coverage. Buki Radley Hiles, who's had to play some safety tonight because of all the injuries, usually the nickel for Washington, closes the game out. But Washington with 230 yards rushing. McGrew had 114. Davis with almost 100. I mean, we're going to talk about that final throw from Morris, but that run game really kept them afloat when nothing else was working.
Washington finds its identity and comes back from down late to beat Stanford 20-13. That was a hard-fought game, and both head coaches, you could tell from that embrace, they knew it.
That is a tough one for David Shaw's guys to lose when it looked like they were going to be able to hang on. But when you're playing that type of football, running the ball, using the fullbacks, the margin of victory is going to be very, very small. And giving the ball back to the Dogs proved one time too many for Stanford.
The Huskies will head home. Still alive in the race for the Pac-12 North. They will face the Pac-12 North leading Oregon Ducks next week. What a ball game this turned out to be on the farm between two perennial powers up north in the Pac-12. For Petros Papadakis and our entire crew, this is Alex Faust bidding you a good evening from Stanford. The Huskies take it 20-13. Good night, everybody.
The camera. 4, 3, 2, we go.
It's showtime.
This is my
Clock is ticking. Do your thing.
He take that drop step, he's dunking it on you.
I thought you actually had done your homework for once.
Are we going to be clean or are we going to be dirty? Because I'm going to give it back to you, plus shipping and handling.
What? I will bet you all you want to bet.
I would love this.
What is happening?
How you doing? You good?
I'm really good.